My name's Emma and I have Tourette syndrome. I've had Tourette syndrome since the age of 5 and was diagnosed with the comorbid disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder and anxiety disorder also at the age of 5, and later in my life diagnosed with major depressive disorder. My biggest struggle throughout having experienced all of these disorders would be Tourette syndrome, my neurological disorder.
My name is Katie and I've struggled with depression and anxiety. I don't know exactly when it started, but I got diagnosed when I was 15.
I was diagnosed with ADHD, I guess starting in 2nd grade, and so they recommended that I get tested for ADHD. And when the first test results came back, it actually came back that I was gifted and that I was just bored in class and that I actually had an astronomically high IQ. But my teachers would not accept this.
So my name is Morgan and I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety.
A lot of people don't actually know what Tourette syndrome is and believe that Tourette syndrome is a disorder in which people swear, and basically that's it. That actually is a part of Tourette syndrome, but it is called coprolalia, and only 10% of people with Tourette syndrome have coprolalia. 90% of us do not have tics in which we need to curse.
Part of my experience comes my hospitalization. A lot of people find, like, if you say that you've been to a mental hospital, you're just absolutely crazy. That's just simply not true. You have the old images of like asylums and that they're where the worst of the worst go. I mean, it's for serious illnesses, but it's pretty much just like any normal hospital. My time there, I had to end up taking a year medical leave from school, and that just made me seem like a failure and weak because I was really serious about my school. So I felt that that one thing that I couldn't control was going to dictate my success in the future. And that all started from when I was hospitalized for being suicidal. I thought myself was lazy and had to be told by my therapist that the fact that I was worried that I was lazy meant that I probably wasn't.
My 1st grade teacher labeled me as a problem child in class because I couldn't sit still, I couldn't pay attention. And so in 2nd grade, my 2nd grade teacher started pushing really hard that I get retested.
I remember vividly when I first saw the signs of depression.
I do not curse because I need to, I curse because I'm fun.
Little story. In middle school I had
A best friend. Let's call her Dove. So Dove was one of my really good friends, but there were times when she was not actually a very good friend. So basically, Dove would try to suppress my tics. And with Tourette syndrome, tics are something that you have to do. I'm doing one right now. Tics can't be stopped. They can be suppressed for longest I've gone is a few seconds. But basically, if someone is restricting you from ticking, it is absolute torture. And Dove knew this, and because I told this to her many times, but she never understood. And she would always tell me to just stop. And when I would not just stop, there would be times where she would physically hold me and try to make me stop from doing my tics, which is not just mental, but also physical torture. And because even though I explained it to her multiple times because of the stigma around what Tourette's is, I guess she just either didn't believe me or didn't care. And there were multiple times where I have a squatting tic, and I remember I would try to squat and she'd tell me to stop being weird. She'd say, just stop. And she would try to hold my body up. And that is just one of the worst feelings I have ever felt, is when someone tries to stop me from ticking because it can't be stopped.
The psychologist said that I was bored, and that's why I wasn't paying attention. My parents took me back to the psychologist, and it came back that I did indeed have ADHD. That stereotype followed me all throughout school because it was a K through 8 charter school. And so all the teachers knew about me, and they knew that I couldn't pay attention and that maybe I was a hard child to deal with. I feel like I never really shook the stereotypes and the judgment until I got to high school, when that record didn't follow me because my parents chose not to share it with the high school. That was when I really felt liberated, and I felt like the teachers were not judging me and that they had a different view of my potential. And that's when I started making really good grades.
I just felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. I told my mom I wanted to see a therapist. It's good to get a therapist. If you feel like you need one, you should really get one. Because if you don't feel comfortable talking to someone close to you, then it's always a good idea to at least have someone to talk to. Even within my family, they just think that, like, think happy thoughts, you'll be fine, like, it'll go away.
Be positive, get out of bed.
It's really hard sometimes.
Because of these misunderstandings, I've undergone a lot of experiences. I've been made fun of, obviously. I feel like it's weird to say obviously. Kids have yelled swear words at me, called me the R word. When I say yell swear words, I mean like yelling swear words and laughing, making it a whole joke. My life and suffering is a joke. And people don't realize that everything I do throughout the day is different. I have to do everything different than everyone else does because of Tourette syndrome. You may not even notice, but I've ticked many times during this video, and I've been able to find ways to mask it, and I do everything differently. I drive differently. I even walk differently. I have to do things that just adjust me to society. Also because of stigma, so that I can feel and look normal, whatever that is.
I mean, I'm pretty much an all-A student, which is kind of breaking the stereotype for ADHD kids that they can't do well in school. I'm not some problem child. I can do well in school.